Yeah, I think we should be live now. So, Manthan, what are your current scores?
Current scores, like in speaking, I got six today.
Mm-hmm.
Today I had test,
Mm-hmm.
and for writing, it's likely to be 6.5
Okay.
is my last score,
Hmm.
last test score.
Okay.
And reading and listening are interchanging in six or sometimes five or less than five also in the reading.
In the reading part. All right.
Mm.
Okay, let me show you something. I already shared this the last time as well. If you go on this website, go to the resources section, check out the extra resources part. And can you see this IELTS rubrics? This part. Can you see
Mm.
this one? This link?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Alright, so this is our public band descriptor, and this gives you a general idea of how the examiner would evaluate your speaking as well as writing. So whenever your tutor, so called, actually we are not supposed to score you, but even if your tutor scores you, I want you to verify this once again. So if your tutor says that your
Mm.
speaking score is a 6, verify whether you are doing these things and what do you need in order to
Yes,
score
sir.
higher than 6. So I'm probably sure that you might be missing out on idiomatic languages. That is why your score is less than 7, and there are other aspects as well that you need to take care of. Right? So
Mm.
make sure that you are verifying this list constantly whenever you receive scores from your tutor.
Sir, I will check.
Right, perfect. And I hope that you already know how to find this one
Mm-hmm.
now. Right? So this one is the public version. There is one more version which only the IELTS examiners have access to, and during the training we were taught how to assess these things as per the examiner. So there are certain things such
Mm.
as idioms that you need to take care of, and for that I think I already shared the PDF.
Yes,
Let me open it here as well, just give me a second. So yeah, so I named the file situational idioms and vocabulary. So did I send you this file the last time?
yes, sir.
Right, so just make sure that you go through this situational idioms
Mm.
and vocabulary. And if you don't have this file, just drop me a DM. I'll send it to you later on.
Yes, sir.
Alright. So whenever you're practicing your speaking skills, make sure that you select one particular expression. For instance, today's expression is happiness, or for instance, let's say today's expression is easy. So try to find cue cards, or just try to find examples where you can express your opinion of easy or hard or difficult, even if it is a negative emotion, positive emotion. So keep this list in front of you, write it down even better, and try to make your own sentences. This will allow you to get comfortable with the words.
Okay, sir.
Right? And if you do this repeatedly, this becomes a part of your speech, and that is how you improve your vocabulary, and you can naturally add idioms to it. This will allow you to score a higher band
Sir,
score.
I have a question.
Sure.
Sir, when I am trying to say my feelings and say something and speak English front of someone like sir or my friends as well. Not friends, but a girl when which જેની સાથે હું ટ્રાય કરું સ્પીકિંગ ની પ્રેક્ટિસ કરું છું.
Hmm.
I just got hesitation and fear of something, and I just overlapping my sentences. So what can I do? I'm just become very, I don't know what.
Okay, so what you're saying is the English you are thinking is not the English you are able to speak, especially in front of women,
Exactly.
especially in front of tutors, or someone you think that
Yes,
is
yes,
at a higher position.
exactly.
Right. So this is a trick that I used to share back in 2021. I think it has been 3 years now. So I used to tell students all the time that just imagine that the person in front of you has borrowed money from you. For instance, let's talk about me. Let's say that I have borrowed 100,000 rupees from you. So I'm
Mm.
someone who does not pick up your call. I don't reach out to you. I don't respond to your messages. How would you feel now? Do you still respect me? Do you think that you will still respect me if I'm not even picking up your calls after taking your money?
No, sir.
Not at all. So would you fear someone who you don't respect?
No, sir.
Would you hesitate asking for your own money, your hard-earned cash?
No, sir.
So the next time you speak in front of someone you feel that you're hesitant to, just think of
Hmm.
this, that the person has borrowed money from you, and I'm not saying that you won't respect them, but you'll at least not feel that
No, no.
fear.
Respect is another way.
Yeah. So respect is completely different part. But if you just have
Different
this
things.
idea
Yes.
that this person has borrowed money from you, you will not
Hmm.
fear. You won't feel that fear of speaking. You will just start speaking your heart out. And of course, you need to learn the vocabulary. You need to express. You need to learn how to evaluate your speech and what to say and what not to say. It comes with practice, right? So what you can do is be
Okay, sir.
prepared every single time. Whenever you're asked questions, you should know the answer in prior. So when it comes to IELTS, especially in terms of IELTS, there are certain set of words that you can constantly use. For instance, if you're asked a question, where do you come from, you should of course know the answer. That is something that you can pre-plan.
Hmm.
But when it comes to
Hmm.
spontaneous answers, you need to think of the answer spontaneously, and you need to learn how to answer those questions. For instance, this session, so I was not prepared to answer this question, but the moment you asked the question, I knew the answer. I have my thought process arranged in such a way that I can express it to you through words. And the grammar part just sticks.
Arrangement is.
Correct?
Arrangement is important.
Yeah. So the grammar, don't think about the grammar in the future. In the future, once you are comfortable with grammar, comfortable with tenses and vocabulary, you won't think about stressing on these things. You'll just think about sharing the idea, and the words will just stick. Just like when you speak in Gujarati, I noticed that you switched to Gujarati for a few seconds because it was much more easier
Hmm.
for you to access those words.
Hmm.
Right?
True.
The English that I am speaking right now, even if you listen to a native speaker, you can understand 100% of the things you listen. But when it comes to producing that language, you need to get comfortable speaking. That's it. Right? So the more you
And
get comfortable.
on the other way, a student, my batchmate, asked me to explain a cue card
Hmm.
when we talking each other in quiet when sir is asking someone else to
Hmm.
cue card, and I was like, I just teach him a very simple way and very fluently. I was like, how can I speak that like means હું આમ કેવી રીતના બોલી ગયો એમ
Hmm.
like મને કઈ હેઝિટેશન ન થયું એની સામે બોલવામાં એવું
Hmm.
બધું ફ્રેન્ડ ની સામે એવું પાછું તરત ફ્લુએન્ટ નીકળ્યું ને કાંઈ હેઝિટેશન કે એને એમ શીખવું હતું કે આ કેમ બોલાય આમાં શું કન્ટેન્ટ આવે તો એ મેં બધું કહી દીધું બટ આવ ટ્યુટર કઈ ભાવ બોલતો હતો કોને ખબર હેઝિટેશન અપ એન્ડ અપ.
I'll I'll share an experience that I had last year. So a friend of mine, she was preparing to become an air hostess, and she was fluent in English. She had good communication skills, and everything was great. Sorry. So she only wanted to work for Emirates. You heard about this company, right? Fly Emirates, Dubai.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
So she only wants to work for this company. For her, this company is something like meeting Shah Rukh Khan, the king of Bollywood.
Yes.
So for her, it's a
Hmm.
huge company. It's a big opportunity, and which if she messes up the interview, then she won't get the chance again, just like that. So she had given a couple of interviews, and she used to just bail on everything. She was nervous and everything, but recently, what she did is she applied for Indigo, and it's a domestic company. It's like people in India, we know Indigo and stuff. So when she
Hmm.
applied for that interview, she was able to perform excellently, and she got the job offer immediately. But just a month later, she applied for Fly Emirates, and she was not able to clear that interview just because she got nervous. She started shivering and stuff. It's all in her mind that she was not able to communicate effectively just because she thought that Emirates was such a huge deal for her. But Indigo is not such a big deal because she doesn't even want to work for Indigo. It's a domestic company. Got the difference? It's in the mindset. It's not in the communication skills. It's not in the performance. It's in the mind. If you think of someone as much bigger than you, and you compare yourself with them, and you see yourself as minuscule, as a tiny, worthless creature, of course you will hesitate. But if in your mind you start realizing that you are worth sharing your speech, you're worth sharing those comments, of course you can do much better.
Okay, sir.
બધું મગજમાં જ છે, એવું બહુ પર્સનલી ન લેતા, અને કોઈ વ્યક્તિ કાંઈ ખાઈ નથી જવાનું તમને. It's all in the mind,
Mm, true, true.
right? So the best part what you can do is be prepared. That's it. The more you're prepared, the better
Yes,
it
sir.
gets. Right. Let's give Nikki a chance. Hey Nikki, what's going on?
Hello, sir.
Hi there. Okay.
Am I
The thing
audible?
is, one second. The thing is, I was sick for more than a week, and on my left, right here, there is a small infection. So I'm almost hearing things partially. So you'll have to speak up today. Hello. Nikki, please try
Most
again. Yeah.
probably today I'm not able to speak.
That's okay. You're all here to learn.
Yes, sir.
What's going on? Sorry. Nikki, try to introduce yourself. Let's start slow. Try to introduce yourself.
Um, uh, me,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
I'm partially deaf today, so you'll have to speak up.
Well, ma'am,
Okay, let's understand this thing, Nikki. We are absolute
yes, sir.
strangers, and there is a very good probability that we will never ever see each other ever again in real life. So you don't have to worry at all. These
Yeah,
are random strangers, right?
yes, sir.
So go ahead.
Um, my name is Mayuri. I'm basically head from Maharashtra.
Mm-hmm.
I have been working since last 3.5 years and government of India in health sector.
Mm-hmm.
Part is that fully sit and rejuvenate my mind as I that as it gives me an immense opportunity to help the needy people that I always wanted to do in my life. Love my job from bottom of me.
Perfect. Manthan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, sir. My name is Manthan Praptani, and I am resident of Palitana. So, sir, how many sentences I have to speak to my in my introduction?
See, it's your introduction. You can select the sentences, you can select what you want to share, you can share something unique to you. See, all are living beings, all have a residential area, so these are not unique to you. So you need to share your passion,
Yes.
what you're really passionate about. So all you need to do is express yourself, what you are good at, what you like doing. These are things that are unique to people. For instance, I am someone for whom communication skills is my home. For me, if you ask me to say, if I'm able to, and if I'm able to communicate, I will communicate for the rest of my life. This is something that I would like to do. And fortunately, I found my passion, and I was able to convert it to a job, or so called a business, so called self employed, of course. But I'm able to speak and I'm able to make money. So this is something that is unique to me. So Manthan, you might be good at math, you might be good at art, Adya is good at writing, Nikki is good at people skills, she knows how to communicate. So we have unique things. So try to introduce yourself uniquely.
Sir, I have a question about writing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it is out of
That's
the
okay.
question,
That's
but
okay.
I have been this question in since very
Long time.
I think for long period of time. like September. Okay. The question is, IELTS writing task one overall. Different tutors are telling different things how we can write the overall.
Hmm.
How many things are come into overall? How what we have to write in overall? I
Okay,
don't know.
let's do one thing. Let me share my screen. I think my whiteboard should be visible to all. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
See, let me break the myth first of all. I'll tell you the whole structure. So, of course, there are people who would write introduction. I'm talking about IELTS writing task 1. This is specifically for academic writing. So, this would be a report. So, you can write introduction, you can write body, you can write overall. This is one structure. Another structure is introduction. Let's do like this: intro plus overall, then comes body. There are people who write intro plus overall plus body. So these are the three options that you have. Which one do you think is the most efficient one?
As far as I know, third, I think.
Third one.
Uh,
Can you
yes,
give me a reason?
because our tutor said that. So,
See,
uh,
as tutors, we also have a responsibility to, yes, of course, we need to tell you what's right and wrong. We also have the responsibility to share the logic why this is right and why this is not right. So, what's your logic? Why do you say that this is correct and
mm,
these three are less accurate? See, all three structures are correct. I will also share one more thing at the last. But
mm,
why this one? What's the logic?
I don't find logic in it because I am since starting I was some confused in this.
Okay, not an issue. Let me share it right away.
What?
See, these two are right but not recommended. This is, of course, recommended. I'll tell you the reason why. So, if you look at the whole picture, we don't start with writing task 1. We have to start with writing task 2. This is again not a have to, this is something that I strongly recommend. Sorry. This is something I strongly recommend because we have two tasks: writing task 1 and writing task 2, that is our essay. So, essay takes 40 minutes and has 66% of the band score. So, of course, we should give priority to this one first, and then comes the report writing, which takes probably 20 minutes and only fetches 33% of the pens. So it makes sense that we should start with our essay. So if you notice, your 40 minutes out of an hour is already gone, so you are only left with 20 minutes. So in these 20 minutes, let's say that you write your intro and then your body, and what if the time is up? Of course, you'll write at least 2 body paragraphs. What if the time is up? You're using an important criteria of overall which is missing. So do you think you'll lose a lot of bends?
No, I think. But we should start with task
Yeah.
2, right?
We should start with task 2. I'm just saying that let's say that we are done with task 2. Now we are only having 20
Hmm.
minutes on our clock. And what if you
Hmm.
write intro and body, but you don't have enough time to write an overall? So will you lose a lot of band? Of course you will lose, because this is an important criteria.
Yes, yes.
Alright. Another thing is second structure. What if we mix intro plus overall? It is still okay, but what I would specifically recommend is write a separate paragraph for overall, because there is a criteria which says paragraphing is sufficient. So make sure that you read the rubrics, the public band history. You'll see something like this. So if we are getting score, we are scored for paragraphs. Why not include one as an overall? Another part is, let's say that by the time the 20 minutes are up, let's say you're only left with 1 minute, You can somehow write anything about body paragraph 2 and conclude your whole thing. And still, there is an intro, there is an overall, and there are body paragraphs. So this is more recommended as compared to the previous two. Now is it clear why this one is
Yes,
better?
sir.
There is one more thing.
Mm.
This is only for the students who cannot write 150 words. You can add a conclusion at the end. You won't get a single band for conclusion, but this will allow you to extend your report to 150 plus words. This is for absolute beginners, because most of the students who know how to write, they won't need a conclusion. They will try to compress their reports and they will try to stick it between 150 to 180, and they will try to write less than 200, because the more you write, it's not the merrier. It's usually said the more is merrier, but the problem is if you write more, you end up making more mistakes. Correct? So if
Okay,
you are
sir.
not able to extend your reports to 150 words, add a conclusion. Simply write in conclusion, comma, write a small conclusion of 2 lines, and this should help you to write more than 150 words. But if you're already writing 150 plus words, this is absolutely waste of time. Clear?
Okay. Yes,
Now
sir.
comes individually introduction. What is introduction? Paraphrasing of the question.
Isn't conclusion and overall same?
Conclusion and overall is not the same. Let me explain. So conclusion is simply paraphrasing the whole thing. So you are paraphrasing the whole body paragraph. So conclusion is paraphrasing the whole content of the body paragraphs. And when it comes to the overall, so different reports have different overalls. For instance, let's say you're talking about trends. So we have trends in line graphs. We have trends in a bar chart. We can also see trends in a table. We can sometimes, if it is a comparison, pie chart. So we can also see trends in pie charts. Sorry. So when it is these things, what you can do is, in overall, you can simply mention the highs and the lows. So that's your overall. That's it. Another instance is, let's say there is a structure. For instance, you're talking about a process. Even if it is man-made should be a wrong word. It should be human-made, or let's say natural process. So you can just simply say the structures. For instance, overall would be what goes in and what comes out. If it is a process of how eggs are converting into an adult frog, so the adult frog lays fertilized eggs and out comes a tadpole. You can just give the input and then share the output. That's it, you're done. Let's say that it is a diagram. So diagram can be visually compelling sometimes, but all you need to do is, in the overall, mention the most significant and visual data, the obvious ones. Can you see the difference between different reports? The overall changes slightly.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so keep this in mind. Make sure that you take a screenshot, and that's it. And when it comes to IELTS, you will only see hybrid for these ones. So hybrids would basically be a line graph and a bar chart. It could be a table and a pie chart. So you'll be able to see hybrids in this one. But when it comes to processes, when it comes to diagrams, when it comes to comparison, there is no hybrid. Alright, and always start with a table, because if you remember your childhood days, you were first taught how to draw a table on MS Excel, Microsoft Excel, and then you were taught how to insert a pie chart, insert a line graph, insert a bar chart. So you need to first understand data, with the help of tables, and then you can learn line charts, line graphs, bar charts, and pie charts. Right? And I'm constantly making this mistake of saying line chart. It's never a line chart, it's always a line graph. So remember it with the help of our own brand LG, line graph. And never say bar graph, it's always a bar chart, it's always a pie chart. Alright? So is the overall clear now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Adya, can you see the difference between a conclusion and overall?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. And body paragraphs is simply splitting the image into two. Make sure that you organize it properly and you pick the things. For instance, if it is a process and let's say there are 8 steps divided into 4 each, if there are 7 steps, use one for 3, another for 4, or make 4 3. That's completely fine. It's not the order, but make sure that it is closer to equal. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Now, Manthan, I think your doubt is solved.
Yes, sir. Totally solved.
Any other questions before we close this session? Manthan, this one's for you. What I want you to do is every single day allocate some time for IELTS. And Mayuri, I would ask you to do the same thing because you have similar time. So IELTS should be 50%, communication skills and revision should be 50%. And when it comes to listening and reading, make sure that the justification of your test is 100% done on the same day. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by justification? Any idea?
I have to justify my test.
How? Let's say it's your listening test. How would you justify your test? Let's say you scored 30 out of 40. How would you justify your listening test?
Like any question I didn't get it, so I re-listen.
You will simply go through the audio
Analyze.
script.
Yes,
Someone
audio
said something.
script. Yes.
Analyze. We have to analyze.
Yeah, so go through the audio script, go through the question paper, and go through the answer sheet. Play the whole audio again. So you'll have an audio script, you'll have your question paper, you will have your answer sheet, and you will replay the audio again and again for clarity. And you will try to figure out where you made the mistakes. And especially when it comes to questions like MCQs, I want you to pause the audio again and again and play it again and again until you get the correct answer. Alright, so this is called justifying your answers.
Yes, yes, sir.
And similarly, when it comes to reading, what I want you to do is read the whole passage again, not to solve, but to understand the paragraphs better and learn new words, and then find out the incorrect answers while having the answer key in your hand. Is this clear? This
Yes, sir. Sir, I was doing clear correct the what they say, complete the sentence form of question, and I came across my problem is that I don't as my speed reading is comes fast, So my comprehension skills are going down. So I cannot comprehend
Hmm.
literally.
Hmm. So this is
So what
something
can I
that I've
do?
shared in the past. I got your point. Is there
Yes, I
anything
know,
else?
but no, nothing.
All right. So what you're trying to say is, the faster you read, the lesser you understand.
Mm.
So if I convert this to a visual data, when your reading speed increases, your comprehension goes down. And isn't that obvious? So how to fix this problem? What I want you to do is, every single day, you have less days, so make sure that you do it every single day. I cannot
Mm.
emphasize this enough, but what I want you to do is read your old Cambridge volumes
Yes,
again,
I'm doing this.
but do not try to solve them. Learn words you do not know, underline them, mark right its meaning, and read it out loud. So this is what I want you to do. So when you start reading Cambridge volumes, and when you start learning the words that are shared in Cambridge volumes, you'll start understanding those words better. For instance, there is a word habitat that keeps on coming again and again. Do you guys know what is the meaning of habitat?
It is a place
Place, but
where
specifically
particular species are
Place
living.
yes,
for
perfect.
living animal.
So a place where a living being can thrive, that's a habitat. So let's say that this word is absolutely brand new for you, and that's okay if it happens, because we don't know every single word in the dictionary. But what if the word keeps repeating again and again and you still don't know? That would be something called cost of ignorance. So if there is a word that is repeating again and again, you should learn it as soon as possible. And that is why I'm asking you to read the Cambridge volumes, because there are certain words that keep repeating. For instance, comprehension is a word that keeps repeating inside it. There is a word repercussion, there is a word ramification. And there are so many words that keep repeating in Cambridge volumes. And the moment you learn it, you understand the passages better. Right? So make sure you learn these
Oh, okay,
things,
sir.
these words, and
Mm.
a simple shortcut would be learning it from the wordsmith, the link that I shared. Do you still have access to that? Becoming a wordsmith?
Yes, sir.
So I'll paste the link so you can simply take a screenshot and write it down later on, and I'll share the screenshot.
Okay,
So
sir.
vocabulary.com, this is how it looks. And if you log in, this is not logged in now, but once you log in, you should be able to see that this is bookmarked. And once you bookmark it, you should be able to access all the lists and all the 253 words that I've added so far. What we want to do is, you should be clicking on practice every day on this particular list, because I've derived this list from mostly from Cambridge volumes, a lot of them from essays, a lot of from essays that I write, the essays that I read, even from students. So these are words that will help you to understand the concepts better.
Mm.
And the more words you learn, the easier it gets. Right? So this is called justification. This is what I want you to do every single day for listening and for reading. And I think Mayuri and Manthan, both of you have tutors. I'm not sure about Olivia. Adya, you don't have a tutor as of now. But what I want you to do is, whenever they correct your writing task, even if it is task 1 or task 2, their correction is your Brahmastra. The reason being, I've seen a lot of students trying to learn new words or trying to learn new grammatical aspects, but what you want to first do is make sure that you correct your mistakes, the ones that you're already making from the beginning, something that you're unaware of. So when your tutor corrects those mistakes, you will start getting aware that these are mistakes that you're constantly repeating and that you were repeating in the past. What if you keep repeating the same mistakes and you learn more aspects of grammar? It doesn't make any sense because you'll make more errors now. So from the corrections that you receive, make sure that you don't repeat those errors again. All you have to do is sit and meditate with those errors. So when you're writing, sit with complete focus and learn the aspect. If you don't understand it, ask me, ask your tutor, ask Google, ask ChatGPT, but make sure that that mistake is corrected. And once that mistake is corrected, you are one step closer to better writing. And every time you do this, you get closer and closer to better writing.
Okay, sir.
Correct? This is much easier in writing than speaking, because speaking is something we do live. So if you have a tutor who constantly bothers you, I'm someone who constantly bothers students. I don't let people speak incorrect English, because the more incorrect English you speak, the more comfortable you get with incorrect English. I'm not mocking anyone, but I can see a lot of people, they speak absolute fluent English, but with a lot of inaccuracies, corrections, and mistakes and mispronunciation. Does that make any sense? That yeah, you are fluent, but your English is not good. It takes the same time to become fluent and learn English at the same time. So why not learn it correctly? Correct? So if you want to if you want to speak better, you should write more. Because writing is equal to thinking and speaking is equal to live thinking. So if I have a thought, I'm already saying it out loud. Right now I'm thinking and speaking at the same time. But when it comes to writing, I can think, I can hold that thought, I can write it consciously. But when it comes to speaking, I'm speaking my thoughts. So it's like a water flowing from your brain to your mouth constantly. So it needs to be accurate. If you have a tutor, make sure that you write down whatever errors they are pointing out or improvements they are suggesting. Correct? And it gets better over time. It's not a one night thing or something that you can do overnight. Eventually try to get better. Correct? So writing, speaking, listening, reading, this is what you need to do for IELTS. And when it comes to communication skills, consume a lot of content. And I always recommended Blinkist. So the more you consume the language with the writing in front of you, if you can read and listen to the language at the same time, it can do wonders. Even if you watch web series, in the beginning I would recommend subtitles, but eventually you should get rid of subtitles. But if you are specifically focusing on improving your communication skills as fast as possible, Blinkist can do wonders.
Oh, okay, sir.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We won't be able to stretch this too long because I'm not able to speak and my ear hurts right now. So we'll end this session. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, any queries, keep DMing me. I'll try my best to respond as soon as possible.
Okay, sir. Take care.
Right? Thank you guys. Thank you for joining.
Good night.
Yeah. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.